Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Divinity walkthrough. We are in Silverglen, and I'm actually going to kind of start up the Immaculate Trial quest. So we need to speak here with Loik.
Give me the strength. Oh, goddess,
The goddess is the word. Through the conduit she speaks, and through me her wisdom is repeated. How may I enlighten you? I am Loik, enlightened one among Immaculates, spokesman for the holy conduit, as she is spokesman for the goddess herself. Hers is the blood. Then it shall be my pleasure to answer them. We are the chosen ones of the goddess. The benedictions of the blood render our bodies and spirits unblemished, for such is her mercy, that we may all become part of the sacred soul. And you too, Seeker, could become one such part. The conduit, yes. She, the most exalted of all, second only to the goddess. It was she who brought us first her divine words, then her divine will, a will made real in blood. Truly, though, she is quite beyond your concern, O wandering soul. She stands so very high above your humble station. The goddess is the light and life of all. Corrupt is the world that generations of men and beasts have left behind, but immaculate it may be once more, cleansed in the blood of the unworthy. The few, the proud, the enlightened, theirs will be her kingdom. When red has run until no red is left, a paradise we will have shapen, and the goddess will dwell among us. Do you hold it to be true, O Seeker, that you are ready to be tested? A most sacred trio of queries shall I put before thee, but even if thou falterest but a single time, unworthy will thou be deemed of the goddess's love. Your unpreparedness, do you hold it to be? Blessed be your willing spirit. We commence. Premise the first. In honor of the goddess, that which was stellar must become sanguine. Correct?
Correct. Agreed. That is correct.
Premise the second. The blood of the greater should be used in service of the lesser, so that balance may be achieved. Correct?
Incorrect. Yes, that is incorrect.
Premise the third. Only those who have partaken in the spilling of blood and thereby created the stone that lives, the stone soaked with blood, may be called an immaculate. Correct?
Correct. Agreed. That is correct.
Most gratifying. Oh yes, most exemplary indeed. You have understood the words of the goddess, and I deem you worthy of her true test, of the true trial that shall make you an immaculate. To become an immaculate, you must experience both the goddess's bane and her boon. Leave Silverglen and take the western path. Follow it to where the winds howl and a great skull looms within the rocks. There you will find it, the hollow, and the true trial within. Immaculate guards bar the way, but tell them you have my blessing and they shall let you pass. But take utmost care. The road is beset with horrors, and your mettle will be truly tested before you've even set foot within the goddess's trial. You've got the look of one tested and ready for such a challenge. I bid thee good luck. I shall await you in the chamber of blood.
Okay, so Loik is going to wait for us apparently in the Chamber of Blood. Now, if you've been watching the walkthrough so far, you'll know that I've actually already stolen the amulet off of Loik, as well as I think like a couple of keys or something like that. And so we kind of jumped ahead a bit and did some extra stuff that we normally wouldn't do or be able to do until we've met Loik in the Chamber of Blood.
Do a salutoin, Hunter. What can I do for you? My story? Well, this is no small tale. I think perhaps you will be more interested in the... how you say it? The short end of stick. I believe Lawrence, the leader of Mining Guild, tell my husband and many of other workers to mine deadly ore called tenebrium. Lawrence knew that this ore caused rot. Charming name, no? Yet ordered the miners to continue. Many men, my Ben among them, become the sickness. And now they, how you say, kick down the bucket. But the sickness, it is not normal. It kills swift and terrible, not unlike Source. My son Sebi and I travel from our home to find truth. But this has proven not so easy. My sweet little Pomargo Visago, my darling Ben. We got along like, how you say, peas and ferrets. But here there is work, very well paid, in mines, clearing special rock from Silver Mine. So he leaves Sebi and I to come to Silver Glen. We wait with hearts like stones for some months. And one day, we see familiar figure moving with strange steps on path toward cottage. We run to meet him and take him into our arms, but he collapses at our touch. We help him inside and set him to rest. But he was in terrible condition. Each hour he grow worse, rot so fast we hardly recognize him after 2 short days. He slip away from us, and we bury him with much grief. When his father die, Sebi become restless. Being of the age, he join army and go straight to front line. Though I was nearly old woman, I join army as healer to be near and look after my boy. There we saw special legionnaire using strange weapon. And this legionnaire soon come to my tent with the same disease that killed Ben. I discovered the tenebrium ore in this weapon. It was the ore that killed them both. I come to Silver Glen to discover truth. And here I find Lawrence, that arrogant man, conducts his business without apologize to any. Exactly this. Please, Source Hunter, you must help me prove that Lawrence made his workers to mine deadly tenebrium. For your help, I offer blessing from my homeland. Se vi mal successos, ni plantos rizzarbo cae tormenti via nepo soggiai branco. Translation is difficult, but it means something like, if you fail, I will plant cherry tree and haunt your grandbaby beneath branches. Good luck. I will do my best to give answer, Source Hunter. Ha! I have no interest in those emasculates and their goddess. As Zalmoxes say in Book of Holy, I am jealous God. Why can I not read your mail if you have nothing to hide? Who is Aunt Sherry exactly? Aren't I enough for you? You've been hammering away for hours.
Please, Mara.
Tense dugong, she's nearly...
Hello again. Or, you've probably noticed that my mother Nadia and I aren't from around here. No. We traveled rather far from our hometown to plant new roots here in Silver Glen. My father, Ben, his death was somewhat mysterious. And we've traced the puzzle back to this little settlement. My mother will have plenty to say on that subject, if you're interested. Ma's a bit intense, to be sure. Set in her ways, but fiercely loyal to the family. Help her out and you've got a friend for life. Cross her, and you'll be better off skipping town. Not that that'll stop her from cursing your line for the next 1,000 cycles of Bendis. My father was a good man, equal in character to his wife. His death nearly destroyed us, Ma and me. But now we're here, and we won't leave until we've held the proper parties accountable for their role in his death.
Okay, so Nadia and Sebi are they seem to be immigrants from somewhere, and Nadia's husband, which would be Sebi's father, Ben, used to be a mine worker that apparently died from the rot, and Nadia suspects Lawrence here has something to do with it.
No news, sir. Goblins will slice us to ribbons if we approach the bridge.
Unacceptable. I want those goblins out of my mind by yesterday. Send another man. As many as it takes.
We haven't enough men among us to take on even a few of them, sir.
Are you deaf? I said I want those goblins out! Make it happen, even if you have to spear Drexus yourself.
Source hunter, are you? What brings you to this neck of the woods? The goblins? The orcs? The cult? Or the whole pretty bouquet? Don't be surprised if you hear more than a few unkind words about yours truly around town. An overseer's got to enforce his share of unpopular guild decisions, you know. I'm finished with this one pony rodeo, though. I did my best by these roughnecks, and now it's time for old Brandon to take a load off. In fact, you may be able to help speed my retirement plan along.
Let's hear the details. I must say, I'm also intrigued.
Oh, I knew a source hunter'd perk up with the sound of a challenge. Between you and me, the Troll King's sitting on a piece of treasure of more value than even he knows. A metal called tenebrium that can fetch a prettier sum than its weight in gold. I intend to lift it, sell it, and live out the rest of me days in comfort. The devil's in the details, though, and I haven't managed to find a way to access the King's Cave, much less make off with the stuff without being noticed. But you're a source hunter. You can sniff out any point of mystery. So let's make a deal, You find the tenebrium and bring it to me, and I'll deliver you a few pieces of information about Silverglen, and Lawrence in particular, that are sure to make your mouth water. I wouldn't wish the wrath on me worst enemy, though. So let me give you a little something to contain the tenebrium bars. It's lined with the fragments of a special stone that keeps rats' ill effects at bay. Apart from Gungir's stature and incurable case of the uglies, it's not so different from a parakeet. Got a brain the size of a pea, and a fervent passion for all things bright and shiny. The nutty oaf sits on a river of silver beneath these mines, but leases it to the mining company for a fraction of its worth in gold. He'd rather put those hefty minions of his on toll duty than mine these hills himself for 5 times the reward. I can't be certain myself where his cave is located, but at least one of those oaf lackeys of his must know where to look. They've got to do something with all the gold they've gathered in the course of guarding those damn bridges, haven't they? I'm no man to refuse a source hunter. Ask away, friend. That circus rolled into town shortly after the tenebrium was discovered. Some freak woman with a freak gemstone managed to cure rot by some strange magic and convinced most of the locals that she were the conduit of the goddess or some such tripe. A strange sort of substance, discovered here around 2 years ago, and folks have been clamouring to get their paws on the rancid stuff ever since. To the right buyer, it's worth more than diamonds. Rot! You're a curious sort of fella, aren't you? Ask around. Half the men here have a brother who died from it. The other half are cured by that cult. I remember him well. Decent man, strong-backed, but something of a funny accent, no? He managed to leave Silverglen alive, but as I recall, the symptoms of wrath were already upon him.
Okay, so Brandon here is the mine overseer, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't remember exactly why why he isn't getting rot, but I guess hopefully we'll figure that out. But yeah, so some of the workers, or I should say the miners, are contracting rot, and I think Lawrence at some point here talks about how the Immaculates were able to cure the rot. And, oh, key to the mine office. Huh. I don't think I picked that up. I don't even know what that key's for, actually. And then here I was looking for Lawrence here. I thought he had walked out here. I'm like, what is he doing out here? But this is just a miner. So I don't know what the deal was there, but I must have just not seen Lawrence. He's actually still inside his office there. So we're going to go back in and speak with him.
A source hunter! My liege, I am at your disposal. I am Lawrence, the representative of the mining guild responsible for operations in Silver Glen. Please, valiant hunter, let us know how we can assist you. Oh, I am no one special. Merely a humble servant of the guild and shepherd to the happy flock of miners within this settlement. My only cause for complaint, Your Grace, are these awful goblins. They're starving us out, refusing even a single honest miner his right to work. Perhaps, my most upright highness, you might be able to help us with this little problem. You must forgive me if I become somewhat overcome when discussing it, my liege. To think how I've been betrayed. To think how the humble miners of Silver Glen suffer. I invited a tribe of goblins to assist us in clearing the tenebrium from our mine, you see. The leader of the troop, a Saturn-spitting Satan named Drexis, promised to clear the tenebrium and be gone. When the job was done, though, he and his band of totem-brained fiends refused to vacate. They've kept close guard of the bridges to the mine since, and they'll slice whoever dares approach them into ribbons. These goblins follow Drexis like lemmings, Your Grace, and if only I could undo the traitor, they'd slither back to the swamp they crawled from. Drexis's head on my mantle would save countless miners from a slow starvation, my liege. What's one goblin over countless disenfranchised workers? Preposterous! What does that foreigner know about the affairs of Silver Glen? You do best to do as I do, my liege, and turn a deaf ear to her insane accusations. Please, Your Grace, I am completely at your disposal. Those brutes! I invited them here to save our valued miners from the ill effects of clearing tenebrium, and those interlopers met my invitation with a hostile takeover. They haven't allowed a single human miner past them in months, and meanwhile my men have all but forgotten their vocation and turned instead to their damned religion. Useless stuff, my liege, worse than common dirt, but 10 times as difficult to extract and infinitely more dangerous. If only we'd known in advance the terrible effect rot would have, we would have stopped trying to clear it immediately. Yes, a dreadful business that. I've been fortunate enough to avoid the sickness so far, my liege, but my heart truly breaks for the families of those who've been afflicted. You see, my liege, when a miner has been overlong exposed to tenebrium, he begins showing certain symptoms. Gangrene about the extremities, fatigue, malaise. At first, we attributed these symptoms to, well, to poor diet, laziness, and general malingering. Had we known then what we've since discovered, we never would have continued operations. But alas, mistakes were made, and those we lost can never be brought back, no matter what that crackpot conduit would have one believe. My liege, you ought not to concern yourself with the fraudulent leader of a crackpot cult. Really, the whole affair is an utter embarrassment to Silver Glen. Some insane huckster calling herself the conduit of the goddess made her way to Silver Glen at the height of the rot's hold on our miners. The people were desperate, you see. When by magic or illusion she managed to cure a handful of them of the affliction, every last one of the bunch began speaking of her as though she were some messiah. Now most of the town is taken with her little cult of immaculates, as she calls them. Fortunately for her, she disappeared shortly after her little trick. Or I would have thrown her into prison and swallowed the key myself. Imagine hypnotizing an entire town with nothing more than snake oil. Ah, yes. Ben. Of course, one of our many noble miners, Your Grace. A smallish man. I believe he's around here somewhere, isn't he? Enough to know the whole institution has been a blight on productivity. With the blessings of the conduit to replace a sense of a job well done, the miners care hardly at all for getting the mines back in good working order.
I don't mean to make trouble where there ain't any, comrade, but in my years of hunting source, I learned that anyone so eager to climb into your lap after a moment's meeting is hiding something they hope you won't discover. I'm not saying this Lawrence character is involved in sorcery, but it wouldn't exactly surprise me a lick to find out he knows more than he's letting on. Warms my heart to picture him squirming about plain as day with 3 seasoned source hunters on his tail. Nowhere to hide his sniveling mug than at the bottom of a burlap sack.
Alright, so Medora's source hunter sense was tingling there, I guess. And points out that she feels like Lawrence is hiding something, which is definitely the case. Alright, so is this where yep, I think this is where I finally take care of Bicky. And I think I had to redo this.
Bicky Boom! One more step, and Bicky Boom!
No, don't go! Please help me! That thing is keeping me trapped here! It's crazy! It'll kill me!
Okay.
We're not coming any closer. Let's just talk about this. Yes, don't worry, miss. We'll get you out of this fix somehow. We just keep a trap shot or Bicky Boom! No, folks, shoot or Bicky Boom! Last warning, or Bicky Boom!
Last warning or Bicky Boom. Okay, so I went with cautious. So that wasn't the choice that I wanted. Basically, what happens is if you go with the bold choice and Bicky's still right next to I forget her name already, but if he's right next to her, he just blows up and it kills her, and then you lose. I think you actually lose reputation. We're gonna find out here because I'm pretty sure I did that. But the trick is to, while you are speaking with Bicky, to teleport him out of the room, or I think you might be able to use the rain spell. I'm not sure, but I don't remember on the rain spell. It's possible.
I'm not saying
yeah,
this
I guess we'll
Lawrence
see if I
character is
actually
involved in
did
sorcery,
that or not.
but Warms.
All right. I forgot to save when I was a little bit closer, so hopefully this time I remember to save while I'm up there. Although, to be honest, that wasn't so bad. Better than having to, or better than not saving, like, a half an hour back. That would have been pretty bad.
No, don't go!
Never fear, madam. He's bluffing. He'll never dare to blow himself up. True. Be my guest, buddy. What damage can a little squirt like you do?
Oh, Bicky Boom! Do it, Bicky Boom! Oh, Bonnie is her name. So yeah, that blows her up, and then boom, there you go. You get -1 reputation. So that's not great. It's not the worst thing in the world to have the -1 reputation, but or -5, I should say. But that, that just means that, I mean, to be honest, that's almost nothing in terms of prices that you buy and sell, from the merchants from. But yeah, there's a better way to do this. So let's do that. Hopefully, this is the third and final iteration. If we could get this bad boy loaded up here.
You there! Back off! Bicky Boom!
One more step and Bicky Boom. All right, so I start up the dialogue. Oh, did I have the wrong person? Oh, no. All right, so I don't know why this happens, but sometimes when I'm in a dialogue with somebody and I switch to a different character, my skill bar doesn't show up. So here I think I went downstairs to try to fix it, but I'm not sure if I don't know if I could have just hit the Y button, if it actually would have brought it up or not, but I think here it finally, nope, still not yet. There it is. Okay. And again, I don't know if I would have just tapped. I don't think I had to go downstairs. If I would have just tapped Y there, it probably would have been okay. Okay. All I need to do here is teleport him out of the room. I don't know why I'm making this more difficult than it needs to be. I think I wanted to test if I could put out his fuse with the rain spell. So we'll see. Okay, so I guess technically this was try number 4. I really wanted to hammer out all the different possibilities here. Although I thought here, and maybe I'm wrong. I guess we're gonna find out. But I thought when I used the rain spell on him that it like I could have swore that it just relit after I went through the dialogue options. But we'll see here. All right, so let's use the rain spell.
I'm drenched.
My fuse went out. Okay, cool.
No, don't go! Please.
Never fear, madam. He's bluffing. He'll never dare to blow himself up. True. Be my guest, buddy. What damage can a little squirt like you do?
Okay. Well, his fuse is still out. Let's get him out of here, though. Took. So there he didn't explode like he normally would. If his fuse... Oh, now his fuse is lit again. Okay. Again, I don't know why that happens. But there we go. Now he just blows up where he's, kind of safe. Or he should be blowing up. Oh, yeah. The dialogue's not done yet. I guess I'm just moving my characters out of the way. Out of the blast radius.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. You saved my life. It was that cur of a Frederick that did this to me. He locked me in here with that ridiculous creature.
Dear me, I need to get out of this room. Yes, I'll go downstairs to catch a breath of fresh air, but do come and talk to me again if you want to hear more about what transpired here. My thanks once more, sweet hero.
All right, so there we go. Actually, now we're at +1 reputation. So way better turnout for that quest than the -1. But all right, so we are. Oh, actually, so Bonnie goes downstairs now, and you can speak with her about what happened. And I think she's got some things to say about. I think it's Frederick. And I think Frederick is the guy that's kind of over by the Goblin Village. Oh, and then yeah, here I was looking for the hatch, which I must have never unlocked. So we'll go do that here real quick. But yeah, Bonnie, again, I believe she speaks about Frederick. And again, I'm pretty sure he's the guy that's kind of injured, I guess. And he's got the imp that,
Did that cause a
I don't know,
reaction?
left him there and then kind of ran to Meridino's lab or lair. And kind of left him there to die. So, and then you can give him a bloodstone, which I totally don't recommend. He just basically takes it, uses it, and leaves. And then you're not going to be able to get one of the rooms unlocked in the homestead. So it's a horrible way to solve that quest, in my opinion. But all right, so there's a button down on the one side of the basement, I guess this is considered. And by hitting that button, it actually makes a hatch appear on the other side of the tavern, and then you can go down here and grab whatever's down here. I don't think I got real lucky with the items that were down here, but you know, it's more money, I guess. All right, let's head back upstairs, and then I think we'll talk to Bonnie right after this. Yeah, looks like I'm heading over there.
Oh, my hero! My heart is still racing. That little monster's face haunts me every time I so much as blink.
Bonnie's my name, and I am, or rather I was, a lover for hire. Folks would come to me when they were in need of some company, conversation, and more intimate desires. But this fiasco has put an end to it. I'll never set another foot into a client's room, not on my life. Yes? Search me. He's a regular of mine, with rather eccentric tastes, I might add. He always wants me to wear a grey wig, for example, and walk with a cane. But I digress. Anyway, he recently spent the night again, and I couldn't sleep because of his muttering. He talked something awful all through the night. In the morning, I told him he had gone on and on about some Meridino character and a supposedly secret treasure lair somewhere in the woods. Next thing I knew, he flew into a rage, said the treasure was his and his alone, and that I was nothing but a meddling care. I was just about to let him know I won't stand for such language when he pulled that monster of a bicky out of his satchel and told the little gnome to guard the princess and to go boom if I tried to escape. I spent hours of horrid fear up in that room until you saved me. Nothing much, I'm afraid, but go ahead. I'll answer what I can. I used to, you know. Merchants came and went. They paid well and gave me gifts. Fewer and fewer of them travel here now because of the undead around Seal and the goblins holed up in the mines. Times are hard for a working girl, to tell you the truth. But where would I go? There's danger to be found everywhere these days. These bedeviled days. I haven't been immaculate for a long time now, darling. And if I see what passes for immaculate here in town, I don't want to join the club anew either. Give me fun, not fanaticism. Give me zeal, not zealotry. These people, I honestly don't know what has gotten into them.
All right, so again, Bonnie's got some interesting things to say about the Immaculates, again, as well as Frederick. It sounds like he's a pretty bad dude, so won't be handing him a bloodstone, that's for certain. But all right, that is basically all I've got time for. So I think in the next video we'll head towards the Immaculate Trial, and hopefully we'll hammer that out. But as always, hope the guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.
The world is not immaculate as yet, friend. Be wary, be vigilant.